Hello, everyone. Welcome to the STEAM in AI Inner Circle, where we have insider conversations with independent education consultants, STEAM in AI graduates, as well as professionals in AI from the Silicon Valley and beyond. So, welcome here today. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Eli Basurto, who is a current high school senior who didn't just learn AI, he used it to solve a real world problem, then submitted his solution to the Presidential AI Challenge, and was just accepted to USC for Business and AI. But before all the accolades, there was just a student with a volunteer gig at a senior home. Eli, welcome, and let's start there. Welcome, Eli. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. First of all, huge congratulations are in order.
Thank you.
I know we are going to go over your story, but how do you feel having that USC AI and business under your belt?
I'm super excited and I'm super happy I got accepted. Yeah.
Yeah, and you accepted it like as an early decision, so that's the top school that you were looking forward to going, right? And the program.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and I know that you got accepted into many more colleges, and this was your top pick. So, really excited about talking to you about your journey and how you got there. And of course, the journey is continuing, but this is one big chapter, and looking forward to this next adventure. So, let's start there. So most kids in high school look at, volunteering experience as like a checkbox, like, they did some leadership, they did some volunteering, got some hours under their belt, and that's that. They stop there. Um, how did you think about, using that and basically, how did the STEAM and AI process also specifically help you look at that experience differently and identify real world problem that you could use an AI tool to solve?
Yeah, so it started with our very first session meeting together, I think,
Yes,
where
you and
we
I.
went over ideas. Yeah. We went over ideas, we went through what I was passionate about, and we had a back and forth conversation that really helped me discover what issues meant the most to me and how I could utilize AI to fix them. It was really great, and I learned a lot from it, and I think, yeah.
Yeah, I remember distinctly you telling me that you had, at that time when we met, the first time when we were doing the consultation and we were thinking of, what kind of project would be best aligned to build your coherent story. You didn't have a project in mind at that time, but and so then I started asking you more questions about, okay, tell me more about your leadership, your volunteering experience, your activities, what have you done? And you told me about this great volunteering experience at a senior home. And I don't know if you remember this, but you were like kind of brushing it off. And I was like, yes, tell me more about that. And you were like, it was something I did. It was only for a little time. It was only for 2 months, and I don't go there anymore. So maybe you thought it wasn't significant. So why were you thinking it wasn't significant enough, or you were brushing it off until I dug further into it?
Yeah, so I wasn't really sure how it would play into this, but our conversation really helped with that, and you helped me identify a lot of issues there that I could actually use AI to solve, and that was really
Yes,
cool.
and so I remember the common theme was like, yeah, when I started asking you, I asked you, what were some of the things that seniors came to you most for? And you said they all mostly came to me about something or the other related to their their email, like whether they wanted to send an email or whether they wanted to have, they had a problem with an attachment that couldn't be opened, or they forgot a reminder and they wanted like it on their calendar. And it was all like many different things, but a consistent pattern and theme emerged that it was, yes, they definitely needed some help with email, which you helped them. And so that's how we came together and decided that what if we built a simplified tool using AI as a tool, but like a simplified email um, platform or an app or a solution for seniors, which would not have all the bells and whistles, but it would still give them enough to get the job done and help them all along the way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would let you talk more about your project. So, once that was the aha moment, how did it feel to build the project that was uniquely yours, customized and personalized to you, rather than following a cookie cutter project or a coding tutorial from a website?
Yeah, it was really amazing to have so much help to build like a project that was unique and solved an issue I had experienced and cared about. And I think it wouldn't really mean that much if I had just followed a tutorial online and copied it, rather than finding an issue and creating a unique solution for it that didn't just come from the internet.
Yeah,
And
and
I
not
think,
just, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I think creating that myself made it a lot more satisfying in the end. Um,
Yeah, and I think I could feel that you resonated with their pain point, right? And you went to the senior home because you cared about them. Otherwise, why would somebody volunteer, right? It's not just another checkbox. And your mom told me, La, when we met last time, that you went again, like while you were building the project, you went again. So, like, you went again to the senior home and you volunteered there again. So, things that you did definitely were close to your heart. There was something in you that you wanted to help and create a better world, make it easier for seniors, help them learn AI, but also help solve a problem for them. So that's impressive, really. I mean, taking something that you see as a identify as a gap in the real world around you, in the community around you, to solve a real problem. That's amazing at your age. So the STEAM in AI program is a 12-week journey. So during your 12 weeks long program, I know we met as a cohort to learn all the basics about AI. We went through the ethics, the entrepreneurship, how the design thinking works. And so what part of the curriculum that we covered together, or the building process did you enjoy the most? And were there any surprises, like things that you hadn't expected or thought of, and you were pleasantly surprised?
yeah, the part of the process I enjoyed the most was definitely working with my mentor on my code. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed working with them and like solving problems with someone who's really experienced. And also the satisfaction of presenting my finished project at the end was really great. I think I was pleasantly surprised by how interesting our ethics lessons were, and like just like learning about how relevant this is today was really cool to see.
Yes, yeah. So what surprised you about the ethics, and like what image did you have about ethics before you joined the program, and what changed?
Yeah, so before the program, I knew a little bit. I had like a general knowledge of like just like basic stuff, but like delving into like all these different things that use AI and like how they are managed and what goes into like making them was really interesting, and like I learned a lot of n new stuff about like what what companies utilized AI.
and the harm it can cause and the good it can do and the impact that
Hmm.
it can have on
Yeah.
millions of people. I know we discussed different case studies, and I know you were hesitant to say names of the companies, but yeah, we discussed some case studies that went right and some that went wrong,
Hmm.
had unintended consequences. When the company started to design those AI programs, that was not the intention, but that was the unintended consequence. And they had to course correct, and even scrap some of the tools because they weren't giving the results that were supposed to. And what can you
Hmm.
tell our audience about the design thinking and the human centered approach to AI that was taught or covered?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, the human centered or the design thinking, like the whole problem that you approach to solve your project and build your project, use the design thinking methodology and the human centered approach to AI. So, what can you tell us about that process?
Yeah, our design thinking process was super helpful with creating my project. So like going through each of those steps of like, okay, I found a problem. Now, what parts of this problem do I need to add to my project? What do they need most? What what do they not really need? What ideas do I need to come up with to add to this? What do I need to take out? I We went through all of that and it really ended up making my project very well rounded and I think the best it could have been and the most helpful it could have been as well.
Yeah, I remember we did a feature, a prioritization. You went and did research. Like you already started with research, but then again went and talked to the seniors. Like if we added which feature is most important to you, what are the things like privacy came up as a bigger concern for them, and things that, we learned along the way, and we would have these discussions around that. So that's pretty amazing. Um, so, in terms of talking about your mentor, I know you touched upon that. And also, I want to mention that everybody in your graduation ceremony, like, was wowed by your project. So, like, I know you mentioned that that was a great experience. So, our graduation ceremony was open to friends and family, and everybody loved how you articulated and showed a running actual demo of your project, which is in live environments, things can go wrong. I think
Yeah.
you did an amazing job showing that. So well done. And on that note, like you touched upon, your mentor was a senior security AI engineer from NVIDIA, and getting to work with like an industry professional who is at the leading edge with such big tech giants like NVIDIA. How was that experience for you, Eli?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry you cut out.
Yeah. Oh, I cut out. I was just
Yeah.
asking,
I
how was working with your mentor, who is a senior security AI engineer at NVIDIA?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
Yeah, that was really great. As I said, it was one of my favorite parts. Being able
Yeah,
to work one-on-one with him was such like a different experience from like a normal computer science class because I had such direct help and he gave me so many cool ideas that I never would have thought of without having him there. And he also had the ability to like answer any of my questions and we could think through my problems together and work together. And he was able to really push my technical boundaries by teaching me so much about Python programming and how these AI models function and work within my code.
awesome. So do you think if Marius wouldn't be your mentor and you wouldn't get to work with someone from the industry, there are so many self-paced courses on Python and things like that. Would you have been able to complete a project like this on your own?
I don't know. I don't really think so because having that mentor was like really helpful when I hit a roadblock. like for example, I was following a tutorial for the from the internet for my email for the emailing portion of my project where I was getting the emails from my inbox to the code as text and I was stuck on it and it was the same as the tutorial and I was unsure what to do, but I was able to have my mentor help me out and I don't think I would have gotten past that without him.
Okay. That's a fair, very generous and fair assessment. So, if you were to describe your project in some technical lingo, for the people who want to understand what you did and how you built a solution like that, can you tell us what you did and what you built?
Yeah, so I essentially created a simple like text-based interface for your email. So like imagine like Chat GPT, but instead you type in like, hey, I want to read my last three emails, or can I move my five emails about college to this folder? Like you just type it in, you hit enter, and it does it for you. And I did that by utilizing some free open router AI models and Python, and I coded all of the tools that the AI would use, like move email, get email, delete email, and then I gave the AI access to these tools and yeah, and connected it so that you could just type it in and it would happen.
Awesome. Wow. And I have seen it in running, and everybody, like I said, who was watching you actually show that in action was in awe. Like, I know somebody, another parent on the call was a doctor, and they were like, hey, we could use these, doctors are so busy,
Yeah.
we could use something like this. So, yeah, I mean, great use case to turn it into an actual an app or like put it in the app store and build a company around it. I'm sure there will be definitely segments of users who could use a more simplified, even though we have so many advanced email solutions now, but I think they are too advanced and too
Yeah.
complicated. So for some simple users who don't have time to go through everything, this would be fantastic. So definitely pursue that, Eli, your entrepreneurship route, especially with business and AI at USC. Definitely
Yeah.
that, yes. Um, so for students who are watching this segment and who feel that, oh, I'm not a math genius or I'm not a pro coder, do you think working with someone like Marius and the STEAM in AI program could help them with even if they had little or no prior coding experience? And how do you think the program would bridge the gap?
Yes. So definitely think someone with little to no experience could do this. I mean, prior to this project, I hadn't used Python since freshman year, and I had very little experience in Python, and I had no experience working with AI in like a programming setting. And the STEAM and AI program helped bridge that experience gap by through my mentor, where he didn't just tell me what to type he explained what each piece of code was doing and how it was all going to work together. And then he gave me instructions and let me go for it. And there is other options like aside from the coding course, but I still would recommend it even if you had no experience. I think it was really great to see how that works. And I really don't think you need to be super mathy or a big programmer to do it.
Yeah, and now with vibe coding and all these other new
Hmm.
ways that you could, build solutions, but don't have to sometimes do all the heavy lifting. But if you are an advanced coder, definitely we have a place for that. And if you are trying to build and learn AI without code, then definitely that's possible also through STEAM in AI. So we cater to both the coders and non-coders and advanced coders and beginner coders as well. So yeah, thank you for that validation. I think that speaks to everybody who is here, who is listening. So no matter whether you are an avid coder or just starting out, or you are thinking of going into a pre-med or business track, where you feel that learning real syntax of code may or may not be as useful to you. Still having a completed project, personalized to your interest, would be a great thing to pursue. So let's talk about beyond the code. So your project wasn't just a coding experience. Was it just a coding experience, or was it more than that? Eli?
Sorry for that again. Wow.
I said your project wasn't just a coding
No problem.
experience. Yes, it was much more than that. So can you elaborate? What
Yeah.
was it more?
Yeah, so it was really a solution for an issue in a community that I had worked in prior to this. You, you know, I had been volunteering before, but I really hadn't like thought about it outside of the volunteering as much. And this really like opened it up for me to like find a solution for these people who I'd helped who need more help
Yes.
and create this project for them.
Yeah, and what I want to also talk about is that you probably used, the program taught you how to use ethics, human-centered design, and entrepreneurship, and it was built into your project's DNA from the start. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So we went through our ethics lessons and how we can tie this into our project. And I think my project already had it kind of baked in there because I was serving this community of people who
Yes.
needed this solution. And they I ended up finishing it and it's cool to see.
Yeah. So when it came for college applications, how did you make sure that these specific strengths were highlighted in your essays?
Yeah, so the applications made it pretty easy to weave these ideas of ethics and human-centered design into all my essays because of the topics. Like, I can remember essay topics like how a certain experience shaped me and how it inspired me to do something. Like, that's like a perfect example of what this project was. Or another topic would be like how I contributed to a community, or even it helped me with topics like why I want to pursue this major. And all I really needed to do was highlight those crucial ideas like ethics and human-centered design and really describe my project and show how it helped serve a community of people.
Who needed the most? Yes, absolutely. And we talked a lot about privacy and trust, especially for the elderly. I know we had
Hmm.
many discussions around those because there's all sorts of phishing scams and money asking scams, and then click here, like clickbaits, and like all sorts of things happen all the time. So how did you describe those privacy safeguards that you took into consideration while you were building the project in your essays, to show that you weren't just building a tool, but you were building a responsible AI product?
Yeah, so I took the time to really illustrate that this wasn't just some project I did, but really a solution for people in need and for a community that I care about. And I, a portion of my project was to help the seniors like with these scams and yeah, so I added some stuff to help with them with like help them identify like phishing or like scam emails. And I also made sure to present in my essays like what I learned from our weekly lessons on AI ethics and responsibilities. And I feel like those lessons were a really helpful part of crafting this portion of the project in all my essays.
Yeah, and I know we had many more features on the roadmap, like building a YouTube channel and having like tutorials, not exactly a YouTube channel, but even the
Hmm.
client, if we could have like what is phishing and how do you identify those kind of
Mm.
emails and things like that, which again, great to, I would definitely say if you want to keep building on it, those are great ways to continue on the project. And so let's shift gears a bit. When I approached you with this opportunity, now you've built this project, we finished the graduation, and I'm always looking for opportunities for my students to like really now showcase these, whether these are at conferences or submit research papers or speaking or competitions. And so when I heard about the Presidential AI Challenge and approached you with an opportunity to submit your work, what was your initial reaction to taking your project to a national stage? And why did you decide to say yes?
Yeah, so my initial reaction was I was really interested to see how my project would compare on the national level.
Yeah,
And ultimately I decided to say yes because of that, obviously. And I also wanted to see if I could get recognition and maybe take my project even further, like you said, in the future with that.
yeah. And I know that it's not easy. We could have submitted it as a non judging project or a judge project that we wanted it to be judged. But we were so, your project was so good that you decided to put it in the judging category, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. No, this is great. And these are the kind of things that, will help you build an entrepreneurial project in the future, start a business, start a company with that. So awesome. Now let's talk about your USC win. Woohoo! So you applied early decision to USC, the Marshall School of Business and AI. And how did having a finished high impact project change the way you showed up in your essays?
Yeah, so this project was really a key part of my whole application and my essays as well. And I really feel like it helped me get a much more unique response to a lot of these essay questions I was getting. And I really think my application would have like a big hole in it and if I didn't have hadn't done this project. And it really helped tie everything together and give my application a real theme.
Wow, very cool. So, do you feel like this project gave you like a North Star kind of for your application? So, instead of just being another applicant with good grades, how do you think it helped you stand out as a leader in AI? And nowadays, colleges are looking for seeing demonstrated interest in especially the major that you're applying for.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a North Star for my application. It really tied it together and gave it this AI business-driven ethics theme that I think really helped me stand out in the application process. Uh, and it was super helpful because it ties directly into my major of AI for business. But I think you really could relate a project like this to a lot more than just that specific major. I mean, and you could also use it as a supplemental part of your application rather than a major focus like it was for mine as well.
Yeah, definitely. You could use it for many different, like you
Mhm.
said, any different kind of majors that a student might have been applying for. So, okay, now you are in a position to give some advice to the younger generation or the next batch of students who are looking to apply, right? So, what do you feel like looking back at your senior year? Why was investing time in a personalized AI project more valuable than, doing a standard summer camp?
Yes. Sorry, could you repeat it? You cut out again.
So, is there a problem with my mic, or is there a problem on my
I
end?
think it's on my end. I think it's on my end.
Okay. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so I was saying that looking back, now that you are a senior, you are in your senioritis, the second semester of your senior year, you have heard from college admissions, you have logged in, you know the college that you're going in. So looking back at your senior year, this is a moment of advice. So why was investing time in a personalized AI project more valuable than just doing another summer camp.
Yeah, I think going back to like it helped me out so much. I think standing out with my essays and tying that application together. And it also taught me a lot about AI and ethical implications, like we've said, which is, we know, is a really important skill, even if you're not necessarily focusing on it in the future with like your major, it's still going to be a major part of our lives in the future. And this was a really interesting and informative course that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. AI literacy is going to become table stakes, it is
Mhm.
rapidly becoming that. So it doesn't matter where or what role, what major, it's going to intersect with every major, every role. So every industry even. So what is one piece of advice you would like to give to a current junior right now who is looking at their summer options and feeling the pressure of college admissions?
I think the best piece of advice I could give is to find something you're really passionate about and tie it into what you want to do in the future. And if you don't know what you want to do, that's fine. But I think really creating that theme around your application and making it about your what you're passionate about is really helpful for the application process. And I would highly recommend this program for your application and doing it uh, any summer because you could really tie it into almost any theme or any activity or major you want to do in the future. And I think it's a very good part of a application.
Thank you, Eli. That's just an awesome testimonial and validation. So yeah, I think we covered went through all the questions, but we still have time. So if you want to um, talk about things that you did, tell me more about your 4-year journey in high school. Like how many total APs did you take?
Uh, I took 11 total APs.
Okay, yes. And did you take any tests like SAT or ACT? Did you take any tests?
I did take the SAT, and I scored a 1510 on my SAT. So
Awesome, awesome. And you are also a national merit scholar, correct? So tell us more
yeah,
about
yeah.
that. Is that on grades? What is it about? Tell us more about for people who don't know.
Yeah, so National Merit Scholarship comes from your PSAT score, and it's for scoring really high related to your state. Um, there's about 16,000 kids nationwide who receive it. So yeah, uh, it's
And
a
you get
good award to
scholarship.
have.
Come again, sorry.
I was just saying it's a great award for me. Yeah, you can get scholarship money at a lot of schools, and it also opens you up for unique scholarship applications just for national merit scholars.
Okay. And we know about USC, AI, and business, but what are some of the other schools that you applied to and got accepted? Do you have a list?
Uh, so I did have to pull a lot of my applications after I got accepted to USC,
Oh, I see.
but I did get into Santa, yeah. I did get it before that came out. I did get into Santa Clara, LMU, TCU, and Fordham.
Okay, awesome. And so, what is it about USC that you are so sure about the program, and what do you like about it that you've decided, like, early decision, this is where I want to be?
Yeah, so it was really a combination of a lot of things. So the program was definitely key to that decision because not a lot of schools have a program like that where it's both in the business and the engineering school. And yeah, the school atmosphere, I really like the people there. Yeah, it was just everything I wanted to have there was there. So
Awesome, awesome. And you are coming to California, so awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, besides this, and I know you're a merit scholar, you had great grades and your GPA and your test scores. So, um, any other factor in your candidate, like as a profile, as a candidate profile, you would say was the most striking element, that made you stand out amongst other applicants?
I wouldn't say there's really one we haven't gone over yet. I think this project was really the main part. I think my test scores and grades added to my application. I had a couple other extracurriculars that were pretty good. I
Like,
did
tell
work
us.
at,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I did work at as a business development representative at a AI software company, doing like cold calling and cold emails
Okay.
and like early stage sales.
Yeah.
Um, and I also did was did varsity soccer, was captain, and yeah, I think
No.
my essays were good. My college counselor was very good.
Yes,
Uh,
your mom. Yes, of course. She is the best.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Um, what other stories would you like to share? Advice, stories about yourself or for um, juniors, freshmen, sophomores listening to this?
Um, Another piece of advice I would give would to be to really challenge yourself in high school and push yourself to like study hard and take harder classes and just see what you can achieve. Um, yeah.
That's a really great advice. Wow. You guys sometimes stumble as adults also. Like, it's like you are so good. Like at this age, you can give such sound advice. That's awesome. Yeah, so
Thank
both those pieces of advice that you give, like think about what drives you, what are you passionate about, center that, and then find something meaningful to do around that. And then yeah, challenge yourself, take the hardest classes that you can. Um, Both great pieces of advice. Do you have any questions for me, Eli? Do you want to ask me anything?
Uh,
It can be off. We don't have to. We can edit it. We can take it out. It just if you want to ask me anything.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
It's clear.
Awesome. Cool. No, you
All
did
right.
great. Congratulations once again.
Thank you so
Really proud
much.
of you.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us today at the STEAM for the STEAM in AI Inner Circle and for everyone joining us also and watching it. Thank you for joining us today. Take
Yeah.
care. Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Shofi.
Thank you,
Have a
Eli.
good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.